Smash like and subscribe. We're live at Parents Against Grooming, Roachdale protest.
Alright guys, I'm just going to put a 10-minute note. We've got people travelling in from all over the shop. So we'll give them 10 minutes to get in front of that. I see so many people here. Got better? Can everybody hear me? Loud and clear. 10 minutes guys and we'll get...
Yeah, mum.
These are people that have big numbers and accountability of anybody giving the answer.
They can, every community can do more. It can do more.
Cheers. Another one.
Are you good? I've
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
you for a while.
Yeah, just not been to many in a while. I went to the last one in Roachdale, last PAG UK one.
Yeah, I've seen you.
When was that? About November?
The one in Roachdale, not Manchester.
Yeah, I didn't get to the one in Manchester. I went to the one in Oldham as well. Though.
Are you going to Tommy's one?
Yeah, I only just heard about that today.
23rd.
Yeah, should be an exciting one.
Yeah, I done tell you last week.
Yeah, I missed that one. I didn't hear about it till it was happening. I don't use Telegram or anything, so I don't really.
Demos now. I just know about it. She doesn't do Telegram.
Twitter.
Right, guys,
I'll have to check now.
Yeah, they're usually all over Facebook somewhere.
Yeah, that's where I seen the one in Oldham today.
Yeah, because he was doing
Telegram and
Get TR, Get it. He's got to have Get TR, that's how I remembered it. That's how I used to remember it, Get
Yeah, right, man.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for coming up.
It's alright, man.
Oh my fucking god!
I saw you doing this tour again last week, but when I watched you
Alright, let's get this on the go.
I think the fit speeches are starting now.
Never get started.
Let's get him in there and watch him talk and watch him start making some impressions square and that's finding the truth. That's how we change.
T from GB, it's Parents Against Grooming protest in Roachdale. For some reason, YouTube wouldn't let me add a title as I started going live. Yeah, it's been a while since I streamed and the app's updated.
Right. Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm welcome to Nick Buckland, standing for Greater Manchester Mayor and Police and Crime Commissioner. Is Vice Paul in the room?
Thank you everybody for coming today. As Billy said, my name is Nick Buckley. I'm the independent candidate standing for Mayor of Greater Manchester against Andy Burnham. And the reason why I'm standing is the same reason why you're here today. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of all of it. I'm sick of our country not working. I'm sick of our police service not providing the services we want. I'm sick of the people in these offices who don't do their job. because of incompetence, because of fear, because of cowardice. They're quite happy having a foreign flag, the Ukraine flag, outside their offices, but they don't want to protect your children. They don't want to do the hard work. They just want to do the virtue signalling. So we think they're all good people in there. I don't want good people in there. I want people in there who do their job. The job we're paying them to do. Now, I've just had someone point to several people in the audience here today about how many people here are not from Roachdale. And it's a majority of people. I thought this today would be full of mothers and fathers of the people of Roachdale coming here today saying no more. No more of my children being in danger. No more. But you know what? They're at home. And that's why we have this problem in the first place. Apathy. It's not going to happen to my child. It's not going to happen in my neighbourhood. It's not going to happen to my neighbour's child. But you know what? It's happening all the time. It's still happening now. And we're still not, and people are still not here today. And it's absolutely appalling. Now, for the people from Roachdale here today, you've got an amazing opportunity coming up in a couple of weeks' time. You've got an amazing opportunity to put someone in power that the elite, that the parties, that Parliament don't want there. You can put someone in power who can start undoing some of this secrecy, who can start holding people accountable, who can start pointing fingers, because he doesn't care if he's going to be a career politician. He doesn't want to be a career politician. He doesn't want to be a politician. But he has to be a politician if we're going to stop our children being raped.
Yes, sir.
He put his head above the parapet, and that person is Billy Howard. So make sure, if you're from Roachdale, make sure you know who you're going to put that tick in the box for. And that's not good enough, because there's only so many here today. I want you leaving here today, knocking on your neighbour's doors, saying, do you know who you should vote in a couple of weeks' time? I want you to vote for Billy Howard, because he's on our side. He's on no one else's side. He's not even on his own side. He's on our side. And I want you to get at least 10, 20 people in your neighbourhood saying, I'm going to do it as well. It's the only way we're going to do it. We can't wait for anybody else to fix these problems for us. If we don't do it, no one's going to do it. And if we don't help Billy get to Parliament, then no one's going to do it. So it's down to us, it's down to you. And if you're stood here today thinking, there's nothing I can really do, there's nothing I can do, there's always something you can do. The biggest con the elite played on us over the last 50 years was convincing people your vote doesn't matter. They tricked us. Your vote doesn't matter. So sit at home, watch Coronation Street and keep your mouth shut. And that's what they've done. People died for us to have a vote. And it's the only way we change things in this country is through the ballot box. Things like this change nothing. Marching on the streets change nothing. It might make us feel better and we get to meet like-minded people, but it doesn't change anything. The ballot box is how we change things in this country. So make sure you speak to your neighbours, your family, your friends in Roachdale, and you say, if you love me, you need to vote for Billy Howard. That's what you need to do. So who are we going to vote for in a couple of time? I can't hear you. Who are we going to vote for? Well, make sure you do. Now, that's enough for me. Let's hear from the man himself, the man who spent over a decade protecting your children, protecting your community, making sure people knew what was going on. Let's hear it now for Billy Howard.
Right guys, so this folder I've got in my hands, I'm going to take you on a little journey. My journey in this fight started right here where my mate Nick stood. So right here, when I walked past one day, and the 60-year-old lady was stood there with a little picket sign saying "Stop Child Abuse," that lady turned out to be none other than the great Roachdale and the hardest woman I've ever met in the village. This is Linda Phillips. I'm going to take you on the full journey that I've been on. I'm going to explain to you every step that I've taken trying to stand in this type of child abuse. Linda Phillips was the benchmark for me. She was the first. She'd been fighting for 10 years, 15 years before I met her against the Boys of Northview. The Boys of Northview was a local school that Cyril Smith was governor of, and he was using it for his own little session of going around there and touching little boys and doing whatever to little boys. It weren't just Cyril Smith, it was the whole, the goddamn full members of staff were doing it. They was bringing people in from the outside to do it, and they was doing it to the boys' children. Back then, we'd have known that school as a naughty boys' school. Today, that school would have been known as a special needs school. They preyed upon the most vulnerable lads of our town and bruised them and abused them and abused them. They sent them to the toilets to make money on profit while the Diana Kavanagh, the head of children's, sat up in the black box, which used to stand right there watching these boys be raped and abused through the toilet, and they did fuck all. They did nothing. So we fought for 10 years, she fought for 30, which led to this. The National Independent Inquiry to Child Sexual Abuse, the ICSA inquiry. The ICSA inquiry exposed everything that Linda had said happened to them boys, and still today, 35 years later, not one person has been arrested, convicted or held to account. No, don't let her get away.
Oh, Jackie Smith!
Don't let her get away.
We won't be letting her get away.
The one person who's prevalent in Roachdale Council throughout this was the Chief Executive. This is Steve Rumbelow. He was there through the cover-up of Northview. He was there through not one, but 3 grooming scandals in Roachdale. And not just the grooming scandals, but the housing scandals in Roachdale too. I called today after the GMCA review released the information.
Get him sent to prison!
Sent to jail. Because of this man, Gordon Brown, the former Prime Minister of the Labour Party, sent a memo out when it were referred to the girls of Roachdale. It said, these girls' chaotic lifestyles were the reason for their own abuse. That was accountable action. Until this day, 20 years later, 15 years later, I apologise, 15 years later, he's never been held to account. Then we had this goon. Let's have a look at we all know what he's doing. So this man was the head of the Crime Prosecution Service.
Cover up!
This guy was the head of the Crime Prosecution Service in the UK. He was the one that said, okay then we won't proceed. He had evidence upon evidence and he decided not to proceed. That again is accountable action.
Keir Starmer, get rid of him. What's putting him in prison for life?
Well, let's not forget she never got away after all, didn't she? Let's not forget his little deputy who sent the memos on his behalf, which is Jackie Smith, the former Deputy Labour, Deputy Prime Minister of the country. We said 25 years ago, 30 years ago, this went to the top. The GMCA report proves it. So now there has to be accountability. These people have to be either faced to dock or at least, the very least, the sack. Starting with Steve Rumbelow. Steve Rumbelow sits on that council today and drags £170,000 a year. That's more than the Prime Minister. Wow. And for what? And for what? For failure after failure after failure. If anything happens with this today, or anything happens through this campaign that I'm running, it's to get him the sack. He's got to go. He's got Rumbelow has got to go. No, I've saved the best till last. This is Sir Peter Fairhair, the former Chief of Police for Greater Manchester. Sir Peter Fairhair was the head, again, of all the ignorance. He's the one that went to the meetings with the social workers, with Sarah Redboth, and he told them, you will not proceed. This man is the one that should be in jail. This man, he was paid, it was his duty. You as a politician, to get away with saying, yeah, leave it, don't leave it. The man who's responsible for that is this guy. So this guy, and one thing all these men on here, I've got my hand having comment, they're all knighted by the rope. every single one of them. They're all knighted by the realm. And this is the final straw, guys. Yeah, a bit like Sir Jimmy Savile and Sir Stuart Hall and the rest of them. Guys, it will not get better until we make it better. It's not going to stop until we make it stop. That's why I've called today. I want to stand there, I want them to see us. So what they did is give them all the day off. They're not even here to see us do this. But I hope they see the videos, and I hope the town's watching. Like Nick said, look, this should be full of Roachdalians. It should be full. It's their kids, it's their future. And they're not here. Exactly. It's a shame. But don't let that stop you guys. Get to the ballot box, back me, because if I become your Member of Parliament, I will sack him. Not only will I sack him, but I'll sack every other director of children's service. There'll be a top-down reform, and I'll be looking at taking both Greater Manchester Police and Roachdale Council, along with my friend Nick Buckley, to court, and we'll be looking at taking the Home Office to court, and finally, once and for all, to get the Roachdale Free deported. That's what we're going to be doing, guys, going forward. This is going to start building, we're going to keep going.
Get rid of them all!
What about the current Mr. Burnham, who's only just...
Oh, I've just come into him. No, don't you worry about him.
Getting away scot-free.
Up on this election, the person I tried to reach out to, and I'm going to tell you something that some of you might not know, I voted for Andy Burnham. For the simple reason is, yeah, boo, because I booed myself for that, because the option was Tony Lloyd. Now I knew Tony Lloyd as Police and Crime Commissioner. I'm not going to speak ill of the dead, we'll leave it there, but Tony Lloyd was one of these for me, okay? He's no longer here, so I'm not going to be in discredit, I'm not going to go at him, there's nothing I can do, he can't be held to account, he's got to answer to his own God on it. That's the only way that can end. But these are still here, these are still in public office, these are still doing what they said they wouldn't do. I seen an interview from Superintendent Watson last week saying, what happened in Greater Manchester then wouldn't happen again today. I heard it 10 years ago, I heard it 20 years ago, we heard it 30 years ago. It's not going to change until you guys change it. And the only way, and trust me, believe me or not, I've been on the street for 20 years. Believe me when I said the only way we're going to change this is at the ballot box. When we get rid of that mainstream party and an independent runs for his town what he loves and nobody else. Yeah, we don't want none of these George Galloways. We don't want Mr. Alley from Lancaster who's run his own council into the ground. They're coming here.
And we certainly don't want Dan Tuck
we don't want them.
We certainly don't want Dan Tuck neither.
We don't want Simon neither. We've had it before, how did that work out? You all know. If you're from Roachdale, you'll know. I can see the Rochdale's all going, yeah, we don't want him. And I understand because I stand with you on that. I don't want him neither. You know why? I want me. Because I want to be able to make a change. I want to be able to go at these. I want to shut this down. I don't want to close it down. I know I come with you guys with the problems, but I'm finally, after 20 years, I'm ready to give the solution. And that's what this is about today. Solution and accountability now. So we're going to have some other speakers up, guys. So, Dorothy? Job?
Yeah, I'm up first, yeah, that's alright.
Please give a warm welcome to Dorothy. Dorothy's a whistleblower, which is a wonderful lady who deserves a voice.
Oh, thank you, Billy, for letting me have the chance to speak. Yes, I'm a whistleblower in Oldham. I'm a Roachdalian at heart because this is my home. But the children were the under fives who I was safeguarding. The majority were coming from Oldham, but they were coming from Roachdale and being failed. We even have new councillors who've just got in now. Mark Ince, who only lives round the corner at High Crompton, telling everybody not to help me safeguard the under fives. They don't want it in Oldham, they don't want them safeguarding at the under fives, so they can fail them at the under sevens, 11s, etc. And they're leaving them exposed to being groomed. A lot of them because they're looking for affection and they think that's where they can get it. So I'm just been told that the Oldham Metropolitan Borough Council are taking me to tribunal now for not paying me council tax to give the police and Andy Burnham and all them people and Jim McMahon money. Well, if they were doing the job, I'd pay them because I'd still be in my job. I was dismissed for telling I told Ofsted have covered up for ONBC, GMP, the lot of them. Your children are at risk if you've got them going in a preschool that's registered under Ofsted. Ofsted, I want in court, but the only thing is, I've used all my savings and everything. They want my house now. I can't get a solicitor who's brave enough to take it on. Somebody's given me a number for somebody in Liverpool who I'm going to try next week. But I've already tried Liverpool and they sent them to Oldham to stop me getting it in court. I had the unfortunate pleasure of bumping into a woman who worked for Oldham Council who didn't know I was a whistleblower that she was speaking to. When they decided to send them from Liverpool to Oldham to ensure that the whistleblower could not get legal aid, because that's where I had to go for it. I've been all over the country. If there's a solicitor anywhere that you know that'll do my case so that I don't have to give Ofsted my house, I'll give it to that solicitor, because them children now are safeguarded and more important than that bricks and mortar. So please, if anybody knows anybody, keep trying to get me some help. I will go to the tribunal. I don't want to. I want to go to a proper court. But when it comes to the time for tribunal, I'm going to ask somebody if they can get somebody either from a media that will talk, or some solicitor that, because I don't trust them in Oldham. I think they've all been silenced and I think they're taking backhanders. Because the only reason I think that, and I'm glad some children are actually supporting me here, the reason why I think they're doing that is because they want to keep it out of court to save money. I'm sorry, but you solicitors, there's got to be one of you who's got a conscience and a spine. Thank you very much. Who's next?
Guys, I'm shivering. Next up, guys, please give a warm welcome to Oldham's John Lawrence. Thank you, Billy. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you. My name's John Lawrence. I'm the leader of the registered political party, National Housing Party. A bit different than other political parties because I want to tackle child abuse. I want to tackle Ofsted. I want to tackle social services and all the other services connected with them. Nobody's telling me that these services aren't corrupt or run badly, because they are. And we need to sort that out. I mean, the way you can get to grooming a child is to disrupt the family unit. You can disrupt the family unit. If your parents are split up, it's easier to target your kids. If if there's violence in the past in the family, they can easily target your kids. When they start putting labels on you, they can easily target your kids. And we need to be good family structures. These kind of things never happened in the past because we had families. And if the mother weren't there, the auntie was there, or the grandma was there. But they don't do that now. They just want to split our families up. And that's what ends up kids getting abused in my eyes, the most of everything. But as Billy says, my time of demonstrations is over now. I'm picking a political route and I'm running in Oldham, and I'm confident that in the next couple of years I'll be getting a local council seat. They hate me in that council. Everybody hates me in that council because I tell the truth and I'm honest. And I point out what's blatantly obvious to everyone else, but the councillors can't see. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be paid off. I'm not going to be silenced when I get in the council. It's going to be difficult for me, and I will be put on the back burner, but I'm a strong person. I've got a good range of support from all sides of the community, and I'm going to fight against our council. Billy's got a mission in this next month, so we need people down in Roachdale to help him out during the day, and in the evening, Big John will be down in his suit knocking on doors for Billy, no problem. I don't care whether it's an independent or whatever, I will be doing that for Billy, but we need help. Get your contact details passed to Billy if you want to support him. We do have a GoFundMe up.
and we need some leaflets, guys. Is a constituency can hold up to 50,000 people. If we could have enough leaflets, we can get them leaflets delivered by Royal Mail for free. So please contact Billy. It's GoFundMe. You'll see it on my page and other people's pages. Get some money in. Let's see what we can do. Billy just running as a member of parliament is putting the shitters in everyone in that council. I'm telling you, it is. The Lib Dems and the Labour Party are on the second candidate already to come up for this, because Billy's called them out for being crooks. You know what I mean? And although I'm not a big fan of Galloway, I have met him. I did interview him once. He's coming down here and he's going to split the vote. So it gives Billy the best chance for an outsider to get in as a member of parliament is right here in Roachdale. Right here in Roachdale. And that's the way we're going to go. I'm going to do it in Oldham. Nick's going to be running as Mayor and Crime Commissioner in Manchester. Billy now stepped up, Member of Parliament. And guys, we can do it. We can do it. The council, Oldham Council, are cracking in the boots. They are cracking in boots. Every time I go out and say something, they're cracking in the boots. The same with the other people in Oldham. Proud of Oldham and Saddleworth. A lot of other people are standing up, and they're going to be councillors in the next few years. Labour are going to lose the majority, and then the time should get more a democratic run. But my name's John Lawrence, National Housing Party. Thank you very much.
Guys, most of you know me from my child abuse background in state institutional abuse. Now, I often talk about Beecher, which never gave any of the children any remedy. I'm going to show you a photograph in a minute. And that photograph is my own sister. I want you to look at this photograph, guys. And when you look at this photograph, concentrate on that poor child's eyes. I've traced back 143 years, right, of state institutional abuse. Children that are in the welfare system are lost. Their souls are destroyed. Their innocence is taken. I actually often say, you take a child's innocence and it's gone forever. I go around the country and I do a lot of filming and I try to speak where I can. The most important thing, Billy's hit on a lot of things today with ICSA. How can you have judges, senior police officers, politicians and councillors talking about child abuse when they're predominantly at the forefront of it? Politicians, I call Westminster Westmonster, because the paedophile ring in Westminster still exists to this very, very day. The reason why nothing's done about child abuse today is because it goes so high, it goes to Parliament and the paedophile palace, which is Westminster. This picture I'm going to put up now, look at this picture. Look at the eyes, concentrate on the eyes and the hurt in that poor child's eyes. Remember, if you thought of every child that was being abused at this very, very moment, and it's happening, guys, all the time. It's never ceased. The poor hurt in that poor girl's eyes. Look at the poor hurt in that girl's eyes. Look, can you see she's crying within? The agony of physical, sexual, mental abuse to this child live with her forever. There's more of a story to this, I could tell you more. Even on leaving the children's home, she was put on a train, and somebody from the children's home said to my poor sister, would you like to go up with the driver, you'll be safer. So they put her up in the driver's carriage. They want to put this poor little girl in the carriage on her own, and the driver abused her in the cab. The abuse that we suffer in this country is all over. It's not just Roachdale, it's everywhere. Roachdale has a very, very, very bad problem. And I'm glad when I hear the likes of Billy and John that are going to stand in their constituents and do something about the child abuse. All I'm going to say, guys, there are other speakers going to come up. I could talk for a long, long time about ICSA. I could talk about government. I could talk about your councils. I could talk about your police. They're all complicit. If their colleagues
are involved, they're complicit. I don't care what anybody says, there is so much to this. You stand next to a person that's involved in it, and you wear the uniform of that establishment or whatever the case might be, then you're involved. Save our children, everybody. Thank you.
Okay guys, so what we normally do at this point is we open the mic to anyone that has something that they want to say. No? Yeah, alright, good one. It's not an easy thing to do, and I know you can let the occasion sit over. If you're not ready, you're not ready. If you're not ready, you're not ready. So if you want to speak, you're more than welcome to. Dorothy. Well, this is Dorothy number 2. She's going to have to stand up for her, we're not going to stick her on her wall because she's...
I'm just saying that's what
Slightly different tack. Slightly different tack. My name's Dorothy Jackson. I lived in Haywood. Closer. Haywood for 40 years. I went to Siddlemore. Who planted you there? Planted him there. I was a teacher all of those years. I taught in Roachdale, Oldham, Bury, Bolton. I started my career in Holland in Middleton, and I worked there, and on a Friday afternoon, after a hard week's graft, we used to gather in a pub in Haywood. And a lot of the teachers who gathered with me were actually teachers from Norden, the special school in Norden. Birtleview, was it called? I forget what it was called, anyway. Knowlview. And we used to have this conversation in 1972, and we knew what was going on then. Syl Smith used to come into the conversation, and as previous speakers have said, we knew what he was doing to those children. But obviously we were teachers, we were young, and we did nothing. And so I moved on then to 2000. If we move on to the year 2000, and we had a pub in Haywood, and the pub was only up the road from the kebab house, and again we were aware of what was going on, but we didn't do anything about it, except we started becoming more active, protesting against the media, against the police, and we joined UKIP because that was our sort of way to do something. So we went to Manchester, we went to London, we went to Salford, outside the BBC in Salford, to protest against their bias, if you like, their bias, and so we were doing. That's where we started. That's what we were doing. Anyway, while we were living in Haywood, the house down the road housed young, vulnerable girls in care who had been shipped up from down south because it was far cheaper to house them in Haywood and Roachdale and Oldham than down south. So you had these young, vulnerable children on the streets of Haywood and being groomed by the grooming gang. Obviously, we didn't do anything about it. We knew what was going on. So we take it a step further from there, and we get now to we're still here supporting other people. And today I've made it my business to stand up and be counted. This is the first time I've stood in front of people and done a speech.
Well done.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. What a wonderful child. You can come and
Take a picture of that guy. You brought copies out for everyone.
Yeah.
Take
So
a picture of them or someone. Yeah.
anyway, I've replaced the hat. This hat has been to many places.
Speak to him.
The last place it went to, Phil, was down Llanelli, where I ruined my hat and I've had to replace my hat.
Legend.
So the point is, I came here to
Guys just brought coffee out for people.
and do what you can. We have to fight on many different fronts. But if we do nothing, it's the children. And please read the posters on there. I've taken hours to do it. You can see I was a teacher. I've taken hours to do it. Please read that. It's the kids we've got to do it for.
Yes.
And I'm thanking all the people who are standing up and fighting this corruption at the top. It's not a war against China. It's not a war against Iran. It's a war against the people at the top who are making the money. So I'm leaving that with you, Roachdale, and thanks everybody for coming and keep up the good work.
Well said, well done.
Thank you.
You got to be sure of that, mate. Hello everybody, right, translator here. Right, we're from Scotland. First of all, Caroline's going to say about the time bar, I know nothing about it.
Hi everybody. We in Scotland do have no limit on our time bar, and I fought for it. And cut long story short, we do have the Scottish Peace Inquiry. We do the exposing on every level. Judges, nuns, priests, we expose it.
Next thing is, a lot of you don't care about this law. I was at court listening to some guy that sexually abused my daughter's nephew. Now, the law is now, I found out, actually stands in England. If somebody sexually abuses a child from the age of 13 to 16, they drop the serious sexual assault to assault with an older child, which is a lesser charge. We need that changed.
Worldwide!
Under 16, they should be charged with sexual abuse. End of. Scotland also need Claire's law, Sarah's law and Michelle's law brought into force in Scotland. We do not have this either. English law is a wee bit better than those. Right. Also, we also found out...
See, that's the English, that.
Right, I've got it now. We also found out that paedophiles, once they come out of court, they're allowed to change their name by default, change their birth certificates, change their doctors by name, passports, then they get into a new relationship and you check that paedophile's name with his new name, not a thing comes up so your child's in danger. This also happens in England and we need this changed. John Lawrence is going to help try and get these things changed also. So everybody needs to work together and pull together and start getting people in these seats so we can get things changed in the Parliament. Thank you.
Justice for all the wee kids.
Yay!
And for historical abuse.
Yay!
Who's next? Anybody? I don't think it's not right for children. Sorry, got my issue with that. Who's back? Thank you very much, Billy.
Alright guys, so guess.
I ain't going to stay quiet anymore, am I? So, what do you all want to know for a second? Cheers, Billy. Oh, hello.
I'm going to speak for you.
Right, I'm standing here today. I'm going to face an arrest, but I don't give two shits. Over the last year, my little boy has been sexually assaulted twice in the local authority care home he's in. There is no justice for my little boy. The police turned around and said because he's autistic he's not a reliable witness. There's a paedophile walking around who's attacking my son. You can take my freedom, but you'll never take my voice.
Yeah, well said.
Shame on the police.
I won't back down. And I'll find the paedophile responsible for touching my son. For those now who are just walking past, the only way we're going to stop these grooming gangs is all stand together. Save the children. Because one thing them over there fear the most is when we all start rising and stand together.
Yes.
Stand up now. Fight for our children before it's too late. But also, a word of warning for those in the Manchester area. Again, the police have not reported it. Shame on them.
Shame on you.
Yesterday, at 8:10 in the morning in the Beswick area, a 10-year-old child was nearly abducted. The day before that, in the Reddish area of Stockport, there was a young lad nearly being abducted. Nothing on the GMP website, nothing on the news. Help save our children before it's too late. Save our children. I'm the fucking pedos.
Well said, Steve.
I've been fucking gagged. I'm not likely to be
Who's
on my
next?
I
I like the sound of my own voice.
Yeah. My social worker is fucking vanished.
Come on, someone take it off you.
Yeah, man.
Alright guys, there's just one last thing to do. When I met Linda here all them years ago, one of the things we did is, with No View School, a lot of the lads that went there couldn't deal with the trauma. They was ignored and they was told to shut up. A lot of them turned to drugs, a lot of them took their own life because they couldn't deal with the trauma. So every time I come here I do the same thing. We have a minute's silence and we lay some flowers in the river. This is our river, River Roach. This represents our town, Roachdale. I'd like somebody else to put this in the river. Tracy, perfect. Listen, let's get one each and all do it. Yeah? Take a flower.
This is for the victims of 2002. The police cover it up.
Put him in the river, guys, because each one of those flowers symbolise a lad who lost his life and a lady who died. So this is important to us. This is important to Paddy UK because these are our boys and we'll never forget them. And this is how we saw.
This is for my brother. He died about 5 years ago, and the life he had, it was his child times. It's in no way back in, but here we go.
Right, it's very important movement because this lets them boys up there know we haven't forgot. They're not forgotten. And we won't give up in the fight for accountability for them boys, for my brother, for Tracy's brother, and for all the rest of our brothers that passed away. We are not going away. This is not going away. Accountability comes for you and it's coming right now.
Accountability now!
And that is that. Thank you very much for coming, guys. I know a lot of you have travelled from a long way away. I thank you for coming. There'll be more. Keep coming. Watch for it because the tables are now going to turn. When they put me in that building, they'll not know what's hit up. I promise you. If they put me in that building, they will not know what's hit up.
Billy's gonna be your MP. So don't say the A.
And it's time to go, Mr. Rumble.
Thanks for watching, everyone. That's been Parents Against Grooming in Roachdale. I'll hopefully be live next week again in Manchester for Students Against Tyranny. That'll be outside the universities. I'm also in court on Monday fighting against a COVID fine. I'll hopefully win that. I'm expecting to win that anyway. I'm thinking about making a full video about that. Let me know in the on social medias if you're interested in a full video breakdown about what's going on with the fine and everything. Yeah, thanks for watching. Smash like, share it. Tune in next time.